All
All
right.
right. Wait, I didn't get to clap. I was holding the tablet. Clap,
No, I
Mayor.
think
Okay.
that boom shakalaka was loud enough.
Okay. That takes care of the clapping and the hollering and the
She'll heard
hooping.
that all the way in California.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to wake everybody up and let you know that it is Friday. Happy Friday. Great Friday.
Friday.
Friday, yes.
That's right.
So glad you made it.
Mm-hmm.
It's football season.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but that just reminds me that fall is coming. I'm not quite ready for summer to be over, but hey,
Right, Mayor's
I'll
over
make
here
it.
marching in he's chair marching.
East Waterloo.
Hey,
Okay.
that's right. That's my jam right there. And I saw you were live today.
I was live. The parade goes right near City Hall, so I got a chance to come out and wave to the youngsters, teens. I'm sorry. Well, young. What are
Little
you?
people. Mickey Johnson calls them little people. We can't call them that though. But those
Right.
wonderful students that
Yep.
are out there marching. The ROTC looked
Oh, they were
mighty good.
incredible. The band is just great to see. So
Yeah.
really spirit uplifting. So
Right, homecoming tonight.
yep, and it was last week for West, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, well, go get them East High, and special shout out to the people playing clarinets.
And trumpets.
And trumpet, did you play
I
trumpet?
played the trumpet.
I play clarinet. How about you? Flute. I can imagine you being a flute player.
Piano.
Oh, piano. Okay, well,
Pianist.
Oh,
A little
okay,
classier.
right. Yeah, you gave us a little sample of that. Yeah, no matter if it's the homecoming parade, no matter what it is, we know there's always something good happening on the north end.
And everywhere else, Mayor. You know
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's why we come to you every week just to let you know just a little bit more. And today we have a great show in store for you.
Yes.
But first, before we even talk about how great our show is, we got to shout out to our wonderful production crew. Did you hire these people? Or did you have something to do?
This gentleman was already here. Agnes came here doing my tenure, but they were so phenomenal, they hired themselves.
That's the
Right.
perfect word right there. Phenomenal. They keep us looking good every week. That's right.
And Ed reads our comments, so that's the voice you hear. And if you see some awesome graphics, that's usually Agnes back there in the back room. Shout out to them. We
The
love
dream
them.
team.
The dream
Yes.
team, for sure. Today we have a special guest. We have Doctor?
Yes.
I didn't know he was a doctor, Joel Fitzgerald, the special Waterloo Police Department chief, who was recently interviewed in the Associated Press. And in the article, City Council member Jonathan Grider said Fitzgerald had been slandered by people claiming to love the police.
We are grappling with the very real issues that have long been embedded of race and force and policing, he said.
Right. So we got to look forward to that. We're going to talk to Dr. Chief Joel Fitzgerald here pretty soon. And today, Mayor, our Give It Air segment is about change. So
Okay.
we've been doing that all month long, just
All right.
talking about change. 2021 is a great time for change, wouldn't you say?
Every time, I mean, that's the one thing we all need to get used to.
Right.
Right. I heard this comedian say before, he said this guy was asking for money. He was like, you have change, can I have some change? And the comedian said he told the guy, can't you just accept things the way they are?
Okay, so keep your bills together. It's not obsolete yet. But the only thing,
Right.
change stays the same.
Right.
So that's one thing I know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course, newsflash, birthday people.
That's right. Be sure to stick around so that you can hear your birthday shout out and song near the end of the show.
Right. You know,
Yes.
Mayor's got that awesome bass.
Oh yeah, I'm ready today. I've been practicing.
Have you heard Dr. Joel sing before?
I have not. I don't know what occasion I would have to
Well,
hear
he
him
was
sing.
on here one time. Did we?
He
have
did
him
sing.
Yeah, did he? Okay. I'll bet you he's about a tenor, huh?
I don't know. Could be
Tenor.
could be a baritone. We're gonna find out. Right?
We're gonna find, right? Yeah, he reminds me of Dr. Cox. Remember in our Jubilee choir. Okay, so we just got a shout out to Charmin, Chaveevah.
Yes, congratulations to Charmin Fritz of Braided Girl Pampering on your upcoming wedding. We want to say congratulations to you, best wishes to you, your fiance, your entire family.
Right.
Yes.
And Mayor Hart, you got anything you want to just jump in and talk about? How's your day been? What else is going on in the city?
The day has been very busy. This week has been very busy. Lots of good projects still continuing to move forward. But one thing I want to highlight that's kind of not here was I just finished up my term as the League of Cities president for the state of Iowa.
Oh my
Had
goodness.
a chance to work with mayors across the state, across the entire United States to advocate during the pandemic. So we've done a lot of good work in trying to bring resources back to our local communities. And I was very happy to have served a year as president of the Iowa League. And next year's Iowa League conference is in Waterloo, Iowa.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking forward to hosting the entire conference this time in Waterloo. Hundreds of people from across the state will be here.
Wow.
Right.
Great. Well, that's always a great thing to have things hosted here. And I know it makes you, Waterloo, proud. And
Absolutely.
thank you so much for representing, all of us, for real. All right, Chaveevah. I think right now we're going to introduce Dr. Joel Fitzgerald, the Waterloo Chief of Police. And thank you so much for coming on. And we always got to mention something wonderful that everybody has to talk about, and we get to ask you right away.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me again.
Oh,
I appreciate
yes.
it.
You're so very welcome. And you know the trick question. I'm sure he's a subscriber too.
Oh, we've already sprung it about the
Soul
Town.
Yes.
Yes. Have you been familiarized with the Soul Town magazine?
I have been made familiar, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
All
I'm waiting
right.
for my cover issue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, you're working on one. That AP article might just get you there.
So we know the founder of the magazine, so maybe we can arrange something like that.
I know it'll be a tough sell.
There you go. Do we have any comments, Ed?
We do. I was just checking.
Okay.
Well, the first one, I guess it just says maybe Powell Easton says hey.
Oh, hi,
Oh,
maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yes.
And then Velveeta Robertson says hi from Arizona. Much love.
Hey, Vita.
Yes, hey, Vita.
And Sherman Fritz says hey, ladies, and Mayor Hart.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey.
All right.
All right.
Maybe's mother, back before they knew that if you were going to have a girl or a boy, that's how she said she got her name. They said, maybe it's a girl, maybe it's a
Oh,
boy.
wow.
So their mom named her Maybe, and they call her May and Maybe. But
Interesting.
yeah.
Very much so.
Exactly. So listen, we're talking about change today in our Give It Air, and a lot of times things can get comfortable, and people don't really realize that we even need change because we go along the same way that we've always done things and such. But sometimes we get too comfortable, Chaveevah.
Yes, we absolutely get comfortable. The closest analogy that I could think of was birth. The baby is perfectly comfortable until it's time you absolutely need to be born. You can't stay there forever. So there are times when we need to move on to bigger and better things, and I think we're sort of in the midst of that. And hopefully you can share a lot with us about the strategic plan.
These new beginnings.
Yes,
So we're using the birth analogy, but I think we're starting some new beginnings right here in Waterloo with your new strategic plan. And we want you to talk about that just a little bit.
Well, I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak to you all and to speak to your audience about what's going on with the plan. A lot of work went into it, meeting with our stakeholders, both internal and external, to really get a good idea now, sort of mid-COVID and hopefully end of COVID, as to what people in Waterloo and what our folks in general want to see out of our police department. And by our folks, I mean everybody that we serve, because we serve all folks, all people, all business owners, everyone who works here and plays here in the city of Waterloo. And just taking some of that information and doing the SWOT analysis and putting the focus group data together, people wanted overwhelmingly change and to be represented and to build trust and legitimacy, not only in our organization, but in policing in general. And I think it made it very ripe for our police department, a very ripe time to start making that change actually happen. And it comes in the form of reforms and police policies and, no one likes change. Police officers don't like change. And you mentioned comfortable. I will mention that change is uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because when change is happening, we have folks who will resist change for change's sake. And there's
Right.
not necessarily an articulatable reason as to why there's resistance. There is just resistance for the sake of having it. And I'm a pretty sensible person. I'm a research-oriented guy, and I was a damn good cop.
Okay.
And I can tell you that, no matter what, change happens in this industry, and it happens because we are of service to others. And again, when our folks resist change, it's my job as the leader of the organization to ensure that we are doing exactly what the people we serve want to see, and that's what I'll continue to do. And the strategic plan is just an amalgamation of just everything that I've heard. There's 200 and some odd goals and action items.
Right. I want to just quote, we have a quote here from the strategic plan. It says, in Waterloo Police Department, we believe and invest in a goal of earning the trust of the community in every police-citizen interaction. And then you end up by saying citizens who trust officers are not afraid to call us. I was recently in a situation where there was just myself and a black male in the room, and it was just a lively party, and there was a little noise, a lot more noise than expected across the hall in this apartment building. And one of the party goers said, "Hey, maybe we should call the cops." And me and the other black person was looking at each other like, no, don't do it. It's not always the thing that you want to do because you don't know what's going to happen after the police are there. How are you going to make people, especially people of color who are changed forever by the death of George Floyd, how are you going to make that community be more trusting in the
I think it's
with the
by
police?
improving our overall image and our overall interaction with everyone in the community. For many years, there's been needs that the police department's had, and I'm talking decades of needs across different administrations where even with the last, there were recommendations made by the Department of Justice and PERF, the Police Executive Research Forum, as to changes that we needed to make in order to better serve the entirety of residents here in the city of Waterloo. For some reason, those recommendations were not adopted. So the first part of change is listening and understanding that the people really dictate what it is that they need and desire out of a police department, and adjusting our delivery to that of what the polled residents in a whole have had to say about how we do business. As I said, those changes were curiously never made. And as a result, when I first got here, one of the promises that I made and commitments that I made to people when we were out amongst crowds alone, talking to residents that were upset over the George Floyd
Right.
situation,
Remember that. Yeah.
I told people that those changes would be made. So there was no secret. It's called telegraphing what it is that you're going to do and following through and doing it. And that is what we did. And again, it's been difficult for people within the department, and it will be difficult just because it's something new. But our commitment will now be to going into the community, investing in relationships and problem solving with the community. Because if we get better intelligence and we get seen as a legitimate organization, one that has the trust of everyone, we can ensure that when we go into a neighborhood and we have a problem, we'll get all the information that we need to be able to solve it.
Yes. No, I was going to say, just in general, we've been observing you, of course, since you've been here. And well, right off top, one does not get to be the chief of anything without having a take charge kind of approach to doing things. I saw a quote on your Facebook page that in part said, oh yeah, we've been trolling you, looking at your page and stuff. But it was a quote from Kobe Bryant. I totally broke the offense, but I did it intentionally because I felt like we needed to get something started because what we were doing just wasn't working. Is that sort of a, maybe I'm reading into it, but is that sort of a lead into or a nod to how you have taken charge to change some of the things that are going on here in Waterloo?
I think to a certain degree, I would never measure myself up against a great like Kobe Bryant, but being from Philadelphia, I have to tell you, I'd probably give him 15, 20 points. Easy. Again, what I'll say is, you know, there's management and leadership training out there in every encounter you have. What's important about the encounters, as you mentioned, with any citizen is that you can glean things from anyone, and you just have to take the time to listen. Kobe Bryant and Phil Jackson didn't always have the greatest relationship, but that relationship produced championships because of mutual respect, because of trying things differently and going out and leading in a different way. And I was always taught, I was raised by my grandparents. They taught me, my grandmother's birthday was yesterday, 93 years old.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I was always taught to do the right thing even when nobody's watching. And I have attempted to embody that in my leadership and demonstrating leadership here in the city and every other position I've been in. When you talked about my quote, I thought you were going to talk about the one that's on my signature line. And that really defines what I've been through as a police chief, being the first black police chief in 4 different cities.
We were going to say, you're not new to this.
So not being new to it means that the attacks that I've seen, I've endured before. My integrity has been upheld, not only within the court system, but in the court of public opinion. And it's unfortunate that here, some people are politically motivated now are perverting some of the things that are out there and counting on people and not really doing their due diligence to look at
Misinformation, I
what's
think,
going
is
on.
what you called it. You know, this is the most misinformed kind of situation you've been in. And I think I read that. Don't
I think
let
it's
me-
you did read it, and I think it's disrespectful to the
Okay.
people of Waterloo.
Yeah.
Because the assumption is that no one will read beyond that news flash that comes up. And unfortunately, today we've seen that it took an article, let's say from the AP, to get some folks to want to talk to me and to talk about what's going on and to understand what's happening with our mayor. And it's, you know, it shouldn't take a national response, you know, to shine a light on the fact that we're, in essence, trying to do things in the best interest of the entire community. People would have you think that it's not in the best interest of the entire community.
Right.
But my job, anywhere that I've been, has been to protect everyone and to be a representative to the community, for the community, in the police department, to keep our balance. And I do that. And again, this has been, you know, for lack of a better way of putting it, very interesting for me. But it is a task that I think that the mayor has, I know that the mayor has really supported. And thankfully, a lot of the city council people spoke up about some of the propaganda that's being put out there.
Good.
And I was very proud of that.
Good, me too. And as a member of this community, I'm 6 generations deep in Waterloo on the north end, and I just want to say I'm just tickled that we're even talking about change, that we have the what it takes to make those changes, and part of what it takes is you too, and I'm just really glad that we're actually having these discussions. I know it can't be easy doing what you do, but we certainly want to say that we appreciate you. We have comments, Ed?
We got a few comments. Mo Williams says in Florida they support your work and keep pushing for change. Maybe Powell Easton again commented change is good. And Doug Marshall commented that he's proud that it's a great show so far and that resistance to change can happen. So.
That's right. Chaveevah, were you going to say something? I know we got to let Mayor chime in.
know. I'm just enjoying
we
the
done-
conversation
Yeah, we
always.
done wrote about 20 minutes into this second. So I was like, but I'll say though, you know, change is uncomfortable, change is uneasy, but really quickly, in about 45 seconds, can you just list some of the great things that your department has done? Because we're not hearing in some aspects about that, but some of the policies and procedures and things that you've already done
Sure.
With the department has been pretty phenomenal.
I appreciate that. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is that a lot of the things that came out in the 8 Can't Wait were tackled before 8 Can't Wait demanded of us. You know, they restrict the use of chokeholds, I should say ban the use of chokeholds, to make mandatory reporting mandatory, to have officers have a duty to intervene if they see that use of force is being perverted. We've had a change in the use of force from a continuum type model to a model of critical decision making, which is very important because it's not an if then we do this model. It is a let's think about what we have here and decide the best way to handle things. I've done, you know, model policies on bias-based policing. We created our first racial profiling report that gets published annually. We're taking every police complaint. And we've done things as far as smart cities initiatives, gotten officers new body cam equipment that tell the actual story as to what happened, that automatically turn on when they get out of the vehicles.
That's so important.
You know, new tasers. We've really done a yeoman's job of ensuring that the officers have had everything they need and given them input into the process. We've invited the PPA to sit down to be on the policies, and I have a committee of citizens that are basically the Chief's Advisory Board for Policies and Procedures, so I've invited them to be in on that. So a lot of, the propaganda that you see talks about no involvement or no one's had a say, when in fact I've stood in front of training classes and accepted criticism and talked about what it is we're doing and changed things based upon, you know, some of the feedback that I've gotten from police officers. So it's a misinformation. And what I hope to get out of this, and you have a wide-reaching audience, and this is longer than 45 seconds, Mayor,
That's fine.
but I will say this, is that people know and understand that, you know, you go beyond the clickbait headlines that we're getting from the, you know, folks that won't put adequate coverage into the story and won't put the effort in to figure out the real story and to just ask us. You are thankfully are giving us the opportunity to talk about these things. So I very much commend you two for giving us a means by which we can, you know, actually put out there the truth.
We appreciate you coming on and talking about these things because, again, as you said, you know, everyone is aware of a certain narrative being put out there that, you know, is not telling the whole story. Anybody that's observant to any degree knows that that's not the whole story.
You're being gracious. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, it's really the truth. And like I said, the change in the police cars alone, I've traveled a lot this summer, and everywhere I go, basically you see cars that just say police. And I mean, it's perfectly fine. So if that Griffin, threatens people, I just didn't understand the big problem with getting rid of it. I mean, of course, I understand all of the details around how so many people have served under that sign, but I also understand that the reason that you serve is not because of the logo, but because of a deep feeling that you want to help people.
I lost 8 friends, personal friends, to violence against police officers, people that have eaten at my house. Out of my 17 and a half years in Philly, losing 24 total police officers, 8 of which were friends, is a huge number. So I'm deeply offended by anyone that would say I don't have a respect for the blue and that I don't, you know, love police officers. My son's a police officer, my wife's a police officer.
Yes.
That's, you know, that gets lost in the mix as well. So when you insult or when you say that, you know, he doesn't have the cops' interest at heart, let's be realistic. 8 people over 17 and a half years, and I'm on year 30 now, and I lost an officer in the line of duty in Fort Worth as well. It's not fun for any leader or for any friend. And my friends weren't the badges that they wore, they were people behind the badge that wore a uniform that served folks every day.
I
There
just
you
have
go.
one more
Great
quick
point.
question. I know we could go on and on with this, but the changes that you mentioned that have been implemented and the ones yet to come, have they affected attrition in the force? There are some people that I'm sure are just ready for retirement age
Sure.
anyway, but it's being portrayed that they're leaving in droves.
I don't know what the definition of droves is. I do. I'm saying that tongue in
But yeah,
cheek.
right.
But the police department's lost about 17 people, 18 if you count someone that's leaving soon. I hired 11 people. I came in with 2 people down to start. I just read an article about Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Steamboat Springs is a department of 36 to 38 police officers. They've lost 6 to 8 police officers. So this is a problem nationwide. People are exercising their rights to retire because they may not want to deal with some of the changes that are happening, and that is their right. But to assign blame to someone exercising their right to leave or to go to a higher paying job is ridiculous.
All right. There you have it. Would you like to add anything
Oh,
there?
no,
or do you-
I'm good. This is an opportunity for him to be able to talk about what's actually happening within the department so that people out here can kind of see there's accomplishments that's happened, there's a strategic vision, there is natural order of change, and they've done a lot in 16 months, and you know, I think that's part of what needs to be celebrated too. So to have the opportunity to talk about that, to me, is absolutely important. Like he mentioned, the series of policy changes. You know, you could talk about the going out to the different neighborhoods and having the barbecues for people, but there are a lot of things that are taking place that people aren't talking about. And this is a good opportunity to be able to showcase some of those things as well. And the strategic plan highlights a lot of those accomplishments and where the department, where we're all moving at for the future. So I think it's important to be able to talk about that.
It very much is.
Yes, and we really appreciate you both. And like I said, we could go on for another hour. But,
Right.
Yeah.
And to be in the most culturally diverse county in the state, I mean, we're so happy to see people that actually have a finger on the pulse of the community and talk about things like implicit bias and racial profiling because it's real. And so I'm just thankful for that alone. And the strategic plan is a lot extra to boot. So
and actually implementing things that are going to help
Yes.
turn around that whole narrative, the 24/7.
And just really
just being
quickly, since you got it, so when you talk about implicit bias, the chief and I were able to forge a fund with the local businessman that has said they would contribute, I think it was $250,000 with local businesses for additional training for our officers. When it comes to taking a look at the mental health crisis,
Oh, my.
you know, how that's important. To be able to have mental health counselors with Elevate, to be able to partner, go on some of the service calls. So the chief and the department are doing good things, and it's great we can talk about those things.
And I know you didn't ask, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say there are police officers that are making this happen as well.
awesome.
I mean, there's a lot of our members of the police department, if not the majority, that go out every day and still work very hard to do the right thing even when no one's looking. So I laud them for everything that they do. I know that change is difficult, but I also know that it's necessary. And my command staff has been supportive and facilitated a lot of these changes as well. So I'm not doing it in a bubble. There are people that are pulling for it and actually facilitating things, and I thank them for it.
Right, even if you didn't get your way. So if, some people some of the officers, I'm sure, were opposed to the changes, and they still go out and do their duty and,
Sure.
follow their oath, and we thank them as well, because everything doesn't always go your way. Change is hard, like we've said.
That's right.
So I think we've done a great job today of kind of laying out a little bit of everything, and hopefully people can read your strategic plan. Where can they find it if they wanted to?
They can find it on the waterloopolice.com, but if you also go to the City of Waterloo website and you go to Chief's Message, there's a link to the accomplishments from the first year. all of that is still summarized in the strategic plan, but the plan is much longer, a much more comprehensive document. But if you want a short note
And
on
there's Agnes, she's got it all highlighted.
There you go.
Indeed.
So take note, and that's why we shout out our awesome crew.
How did she know that? It's almost like she automatically knows what you're going to say.
Yes.
But I just
she
want to
calls
add
it
to
TV
I
magic.
just want to add to the chief's point too. You know, you have people within the department that are going out there every day to risk their lives to make sure that our community is safe. So we definitely want to make sure that we applaud, like the chief just did, and highlight some of the folks that are doing incredible work.
That's right. I'm going to applaud him right now because I'm
That's
ready to
right.
get in a happy mood. It's time to sing happy birthday. We got the birthday people. We always have the best viewers, and we have the best birthday people, Chaveevah.
Always, every time. I'm going to start right out with happy birthday, Troy Dalrymple.
I'm glad you said his name.
Oh, I know.
He's
He's got another nickname that I can't say on TV. But anyway, Tom Cooper III, happy
Tom!
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, Gloria Ewell Oliver.
Woo!
My
Happy
son,
birthday.
Talani Gillum,
Yay,
happy
Talani.
birthday.
Happy
Yes.
birthday to Lonnie.
Maxine Bishop Keller
Hey, my
and
girl.
Karis Golden.
I saw
Happy
y'all
birthday.
celebrated without me, Maxine. Seriously? Okay, Yolanda Tisdale Robinson.
Hey, happy birthday.
birthday.
Yes, Zena Oliver, that's my cousin.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, Bill Tate, superstar wrestler, right?
Happy birthday,
And our
Bill.
very own Kent Schenkel.
Right,
Oh, happy
Kent.
birthday, Kent.
Happy birthday.
Emma Stouffer, she's my best friend.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Birthday, Emma.
We love Emma. Happy birthday. And Ruthie Stigler, one of the twins. Everybody
Happy
knows
birthday.
Ruthie.
The 93-year-old.
Yes.
Oh, you're
You
good.
want
Oh,
to
that's
mention the name?
right.
Yeah, my mom, Dorothy
Your mom?
Fitzgerald. Yes.
Your
All right.
mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Happy
Mom, happy birthday.
Happy
Birthday.
birthday, Mrs. Fitzgerald.
For sure. And now we get to sing because we like to sing a lot on this show. We like it so much, we even start out and neither one of us can sing a lick.
No, we just do the best we can.
But we like this one part that goes something like this. I'm sure you would agree
It couldn't fit more perfectly
than to have a world party.
on the day you came to be.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday
to you.
All right.
Happy birthday. All right.
Wow, Dr. Chief can sing, y'all. All right, and Emma, I hope you loved that song. We love Emma, don't we?
Yes,
Remember,
we do,
she
yes.
did such good research.
Yes, she did.
Okay, so we want to remind you to follow us on YouTube, everybody.
Yep, look for Rocki and Chaveevah. If you have Mediacom, you can watch us on WCTV, channel 17 or 79-4, depending on how your TV is set up.
Right.
On Fridays at 4 or Saturdays at 10.
And go to North End Update, Mayor, because I couldn't get you, and I couldn't get you, so you guys got to go there and like our page. And I
Again?
thought, yeah, because it keeps going away or something.
Okay.
And if you have an idea for our show, email us at northendupdate@gmail.com.
Oh,
Yes,
I
and
forgot,
by
you forgot
all
one
means-
thing.
What's that?
Where can you pick up a Soul Town?
Oh, a Soul Town, yeah, at Earth's Beauty Supply.
Yes.
All right.
Or you can go to where? TheSoulTownMagazine.com.
Right.
Yes.
Or you can call her.
319-505-4020.
All right.
right.
You
All
just
right.
wanted to test your memory.
There you go.
All right. Until next time, we want to encourage our viewers to keep doing more of what makes you awesome, like the mayor and the Dr. Chief here.
Okay.
And you too.
Oh, and us.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Because it makes us all
All look good.
There you go.
See you next time.